now been 7 years since we had a new Saw film, so what better way to celebrate the end of horror season than by talking about the brand new entry, Jigsaw. I'm quite a fan of the Saw movies, but there's no denying that as the series progressed it got less serious and way more ridiculous and hilarious. So when they announced the 7th movie was going to be the last chapter, my immediate thought was, oh good, at least I guess when they bring the series back in a few years it will potentially be a return to form. Because there was no way that they would never make another Saw movie. It's too big a franchise to completely abandon. And how is this new film? Well, I've heard a lot of people saying it's as bad as the other movies, but honestly, I think it's one of the best in the series. Not quite as good as the first two, but a strong third place in my opinion. There is a lot of terrible things about the film, and it does completely destroy the timeline and make everything that happens in the previous movies make no sense at all, but I also like the direction that they went into. The script wasn't the worst written thing in the world, and the acting was decent also. The plot is basically the same plot of every single Saw film after Jigsaw died. A group of people must survive the game, and knows who dies, body keeps showing up and the police must try and work out who the killer is and whether it turns out that Jigsaw is actually still alive. The film is quite gory, but not to the extent of some of the other movies. Most of the gore in the film comes from the doctors and police analysing the corpses, similar to something like Seven. A lot of the death scenes are quite tame compared to other films in the series, so I can imagine a lot of people are going to be kind of put off at times, but I didn't mind it so much. I found myself way more involved in the police's plot in the film than the plot of the game, which is the first time since probably the original where I've actually enjoyed the police scenes. In a lot of ways, the film strips away some of the awful issues that plague the series and takes it back to basics, especially in the way the film is shot. We no longer have those annoying fast cuts during the traps, we can actually see what is happening. Sure, the film isn't shot like a David Fincher movie, the cameras are simple, but that's refreshing to see after what they gave us in the other movies. The traps in the film are interesting also. They're not the best, but I think they're a lot better than some of the traps in the previous films because they aren't near impossible to win. I also like that this is a film where you don't have to see every other film in the series to understand what is happening. The film in many ways stands on its own, but because of that there are many moments where I kept thinking, was it necessary to make this a Saw movie? The film would have worked perfectly fine if it was a separate movie. In fact, it probably would have worked better because there wouldn't have been loads of things in there that makes the entire timeline of the series make no sense. I don't want to delve into the plot holes and continuity issues in the film because Your Movie Sucks did a great review where that was pretty much all he talked about. It's worth checking out, but obviously be wary because there's loads of spoilers. If there's one giant issue I had with the film that kind of ruined it for me was the characters. Although the acting was fine, some of the characters were annoying and having their deaths take forever to happen made the film a little bit tiresome. Characters do some of the most stupid things they possibly could do, and there were decisions that characters made that made me want to scream at the screen. And some of the dialogue could be really pretty cringy at times. If you've seen the trailer you may remember the "well that's not creepy at all" scene. That scene is probably the single worst moment in the whole film. They hang on the shot for at least 2 seconds afterwards as if it was the funniest line anyone has ever said and that the whole audience would be in hysterics. Annoyingly enough, a couple of people actually did laugh during my screening, but regardless it's so awkward and just isn't funny. Not to mention it being in every trailer and TV spot really ruins the joke and makes it almost unbearable to finally watch in the film. The film goes in a much more serious direction than the other films, which seem kind of self-aware of how stupid they were, and yeah, some people are gonna hate the film because of that. I've seen loads of people complain about it and say it ends up making the film super boring, but I personally was never bored. I was constantly excited and entertained by everything that happened. As someone who loves police procedural movies slash TV shows, I was always going to find that aspect of the film fun to watch, but I can see why some people would be put off by it. It can be a little bit slow at times and is quite predictable, but I think it's a film that if you just switch your brain off and go with it, you'll probably have a good time. And that's something that even at its worst, the Saw series has always done very well. They're mindless popcorn horror flicks, and although they lack substance that some people may long for, I think there's a place in the world for these mindless films. I may have wanted a lot more than I was given, but to be honest, my expectations were for another Saw 3D, so I was impressed by what they ended up giving us. Don't go into the film expecting a masterpiece, but do go into it expecting something a little less self-aware and more serious, but just as stupid and nonsensical as you'd expect the series to be. So I give Jigsaw a 7.5 out of 10. Hey guys, so just a quick addition I'm adding on to the end of the video. I'm not setting up my camera or anything because I just can't be bothered, to be honest. This is going to be the last video of horror season this year. I know it's a little bit late and I apologize for that. Basically the video was going to do, the final list is still going to happen. It's just not going to be a part of horror season. It's going to be a special subscriber special in hopefully a month or so, because it's taking longer than I expected to make. In fact, I'm nowhere near finished writing it, so yeah, I'm gonna need a little bit more time. Thanks for being patient. Apologies for how late this video has been. Everything got in the way. It's just been a really hectic few weeks, so yeah, I'm gonna try and take a little bit of break for maybe a week or so, and I'm gonna get straight back into making these videos. So yeah, stay tuned because the announcement video is going to be up hopefully either today or in the next couple days. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.